Masha and the Bear, the Frozen Adventure. One frosty morning, Masha stumbles upon an old, sparkling snowflake pendant buried in the snow near Bear's house. Excitedly, she rushes inside to show Bear. As Bear examines the pendant, he realizes it is a magical artifact from the Ice Age, a time when their forest was covered in ice and snow. Suddenly, a magical frost spreads across the forest, freezing everything in its path. The pendant glows, projecting an ancient map showing a hidden, frozen world deep within their forest. Determined to uncover the pendant's secrets and save their forest, Masha convinces Bear to embark on an adventure. They pack warm clothes, food, and the pendant, which acts as their guide. On their journey, they encounter magical creatures like ice fairies and a wise old owl who tells them about the Ice Kingdom's legendary ruler, Queen Frostine. Following the map, Masha and Bear arrive at the Grand Ice Castle, a magnificent structure made entirely of shimmering ice. They meet Queen Frostine, who explains that the pendant once belonged to her and was stolen by a mischievous ice sprite. The loss of the pendant has caused an imbalance, leading to the recent frost in Masha and Bear's forest. Masha, with her boundless energy and curiosity, volunteers to help return the pendant. With Bear by her side, they venture into the depths of the castle, outsmarting the ice sprite and returning the pendant to Queen Frostine. With the pendant back in her possession, Queen Frostine restores balance to the forest. The ice and frost recede, revealing the lush green landscape once again. Grateful for their bravery, Queen Frostine gifts Masha and Bear a small, enchanted snowflake that will always bring a touch of winter magic whenever they need it. Back at home, Masha and Bear cherish their magical adventure, knowing they have saved their forest and made a new frosty friend in Queen Frostine. Masha's Magical Wardrobe. Once upon a time, in the magical forest where Masha and the Bear lived, there was an enchanted wardrobe filled with dresses from all the Disney princesses. One sunny morning, Masha stumbled upon this wardrobe while exploring the bear's cozy house. Curiosity sparkled in her eyes as she opened the wardrobe doors, revealing a dazzling array of gowns. There was Cinderella's sparkling blue dress, Belle's golden ball gown, Ariel's sea green mermaid attire, and many more. Masha's heart raced with excitement. She decided to try them all on and choose the one that suited her best. First, Masha slipped into Cinderella's gown. She twirled around, imagining herself at a grand ball. The dress was beautiful, but Masha felt it wasn't quite right for her adventurous spirit. Next, she tried on Belle's golden dress. As she looked in the mirror, she felt graceful and elegant, but the dress felt a bit too formal for her playful nature. Then, she put on Ariel's mermaid attire. She loved the shimmering fabric and the way it sparkled in the light, but swimming through the forest didn't seem very practical. Masha continued to try on dress after dress, from Snow White's cheerful ensemble to Jasmine's exotic outfit. Each dress had its own charm, but none seemed to capture her essence completely. Finally, Masha noticed a dress she hadn't seen before. It was a blend of all the Disney princesses' dresses, woven together by magic. The top was adorned with the sparkling beads of Cinderella's gown, the skirt flowed like Ariel's mermaid tail, and the golden hue of Belle's dress shimmered throughout. Masha slipped into the dress, and as she did, she felt an incredible surge of confidence and joy. In this unique dress, Masha felt like herself, adventurous, playful, and magical. She ran outside to show the bear, who clapped his paws in delight. "You look perfect, Masha," he said with a smile. From that day on, Masha wore her magical dress with pride, knowing that it was made just for her. She continued her adventures in the forest, feeling more magical and confident than ever before. And so, Masha and the bear lived happily, with Masha's new dress reminding her that being true to oneself is the greatest magic of all. How about Masha's Midnight Waltz? Once upon a time, in a small village nestled deep within the forest, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Masha. She was known for her gentle spirit and unwavering optimism, despite the hardships she faced. Masha lived with her stepmother and stepsisters, who treated her unkindly, assigning her all the household chores while they lived a life of luxury. Despite her circumstances, Masha never lost hope. She found solace in her dreams and the stories she read in old books. One day, an invitation to the royal ball arrived, and Masha's stepsisters were thrilled at the opportunity to attend. However, they had no intention of allowing Masha to join them. With tears in her eyes, Masha watched as her stepsisters prepared for the ball, knowing she would be left behind. But just when all hope seemed lost, a gentle voice spoke to her from the depths of the forest. It was her fairy godmother, who had been watching over her all along. With a wave of her wand, the fairy godmother transformed Masha's tattered dress into a magnificent gown, and her worn-out shoes into sparkling glass slippers. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Masha thanked her fairy godmother and set off for the ball. As she entered the grand ballroom, Masha captivated everyone with her grace and beauty. Even the prince himself was entranced by her presence. They danced the night away, lost in each other's company. But as the clock struck midnight, Masha knew her time was running out. With a hurried goodbye, she fled from the palace, leaving behind one of her glass slippers. Determined to find his mysterious dance partner, the prince searched the kingdom, fitting the glass slipper on every maiden's foot. When he arrived at Masha's humble home, her stepsisters tried to deceive him, but Masha stepped forward, her true identity revealed. Overjoyed to have found his true love, the prince declared Masha to be his bride, and they lived happily ever after, leaving behind the hardships of the past and embracing a future filled with love and happiness. Masha and the Bear's Magical Adventure with the Fairies. Once upon a time, in a dense, enchanted forest, lived a young girl named Masha. She was adventurous and curious, always exploring the magical world around her. One evening, as Masha and the bear were playing near a shimmering pond, they heard a soft, melodious song. Following the sound, they discovered a group of fairies dancing in the moonlight. The fairies were celebrating the arrival of the Fairy Queen's birthday and invited Masha and the bear to join them. Excited for the adventure, Masha and the bear followed the fairies deep into the heart of the forest. Along the way, they encountered many challenges, including a mischievous gnome who tried to lead them astray, and a river that could only be crossed with the help of a magical bridge created by the fairies. Finally, they arrived at the Fairy Queen's castle, a magnificent structure made of shimmering crystals and surrounded by a rainbow-colored garden. The Fairy Queen welcomed them warmly and invited them to join the birthday celebration. The celebration was unlike anything Masha had ever seen. The fairies danced and sang, the garden bloomed with the most beautiful flowers, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of magic. As the night went on, the Fairy Queen approached Masha and the bear, thanking them for their bravery and kindness. In return, the Fairy Queen granted Masha and the bear a special gift. She gave Masha a magical pendant that would protect her from harm, and she gave the bear the ability to speak so they could always understand each other. Filled with gratitude, Masha and the bear returned home, their hearts full of joy and wonder. From that day on, they knew that no matter where their adventures took them, they would always have each other and the magic of the fairies to guide them.